Yeah, well, first of all, anyone listening frustrated I'm talking about the Devils as a Devils fan, you're daft if you didn't think that I was going to talk about them because they're the hottest team in the league right now. Yeah, the difference a couple episodes can make on my perception of Lindy Ruff is unreal. I did say in that episode that it was the 84th game of last season. While they're into the new season now, and they have been dynamite, actually dominating teams. And it's been a swing of emotions because first two games I thought this team's terrible. Next three games I was like, okay, they're good, but I'm skeptical. Now I know they're good. I am locked in at good. Gonna get into some analytics here for you. Someone's rolling their eyes somewhere right now, but too bad. I'm going to throw out some stats and just talk about this team briefly. They're third on Money Puck's power rankings currently, which has a number of stats that go into it. And I could name all of those, but you'd get bored pretty quick. They're first in expected goals percentage in the entire league, which is an easier one to understand. And yes, it is by a landslide. But here's some more traditional stats for you. They're out shooting teams in 9 games, 354 to 195. And the scoring chances are 263 to 123. The league average of scoring chances is 195. They are absolutely dominating. And I've wrote down a couple reasons to expect the success to stick around and some to expect it to go away. The first one is that the power play is currently 21st in the league in terms of percentage. And their expected goals percentage on the power play, however, is in first in the league at 56.22. So there's more goals to come on the power play and expected to get better. And then their expected goals are higher than their actual goals, and their expected goals against are lower than their goals against, meaning that this team, per the analytics, should be scoring more and should be getting scored on less, which is a good thing when you're in first place. The reasons to expect the success to leave are they are the Devils. Yep. The second one is Casey cheers for this team, and any team that Casey cheers for eventually comes back to earth. Tottenham, Giants, Blue Jays, Devils. So those are your reasons. Let me hear it. It's been fun to watch.
It's been very fun to watch, and I'm glad that you brought them up. I wasn't sure if you were going to be honest. I thought maybe you would have, been like a humble, they're very good. Maybe you guys talk about them, but I'm glad you brought them up because they've been on a tear to start the season. That Metro looks like it's going to be tight all the way through and all the way until the end of the season, no matter who gets in. The Devils have looked, better in the games that I've seen them, except for, I forget the one game that they were playing earlier in the season when I texted you and I was like, they look terrible, and I think they lost that game. But you had said that, they are still in game 84 or 85 of last season. So I was like, yeah, okay, it makes sense. One thing I wanted to bring up while you were talking about stats is that not only are they generating so much offense in terms of the expected goals, the shots, the actual goals for everything that you mentioned there, but they've also been really, really good defensively. And a number to quantify that is their expected goals against per 60 is 1.78, which is currently ranked number 1 in the league by quite a wide margin. And that's above teams, in succession like Vegas, Carolina, Boston, who have all been very good to start the year as well. So there's a lot to like about New Jersey. The numbers are backing it up. They just look really good. Now, can they sustain this while their goaltending continues to be sub-average? I don't know, but I would love to see them make the playoffs because if we go back just a few episodes when we were talking about the Metro Division rankings, we all kind of contemplated having New Jersey in the playoffs, and I'm pretty set that they are going to be a playoff team, and I've said that multiple times. So, exciting team to watch. I'm glad they're flying out of the gate. The one thing I will say, though, is there's a reason we're talking about them in this episode called Hot Starts, because it is just a start.
That's right.
The rest of the season to go, and I'm sure, teams like Detroit and Seattle, who also have really good underlying numbers right now, and teams like, Toronto, Tampa Bay, Colorado, who have poor underlying numbers. I'm sure we're going to see some flip-flop in the standings here, but nonetheless, very encouraging for a young New Jersey team. Love it.
Hart, before you say your thoughts here, I just wanted to talk about the defense because Chad mentioned them there briefly, and it's I honestly haven't seen a decor on the Devils like this since the 2000s. I feel good when all three pairings are on the ice. Currently, over 55 minutes played for lines. Smith, Severson, and Siegenthaler Hamilton are second and third pairings in the league for expected goals percentage. And it's like Smith Severson is 70.9% currently, and Siegenthaler Hamilton are 69.7%, and then Graves and Marino are number 11. So, three of the top 11 in the entire league right now. And Marino has been the Devils' best defenseman. They've been playing him in the tough situations. I think late in the second period against Colorado, the play-by-play, they were saying that every shift Nathan MacKinnon had played in that game so far, Marino has been on the ice. They're playing him against the best players because he is so sound defensively and such a great skater on the back end. It's been amazing to watch. Now, I wasn't actually going to bring up the Devils until the game yesterday. That game yesterday was just a display of dominance. The shots were 53. Yeah, the shots were 53-21 in a 7-1 win. The Devils Instagram page, they posted John Marino's goal, and the caption was Johnny Hockey, and that felt good after they only allowed Johnny Gaudreau to get one shot all game and beat them 7-1.
Yeah, that was a dominant performance for sure, no question about it. And tough times for Johnny Hockey and the Blue Jackets right now. But anyway, on the Devils, and I'm glad you mentioned John Marino case, because we had a great conversation about him in person in Toronto over the weekend, and just how great he's been after some people, I think, were ripping that contract a little bit that he got in Pittsburgh, and he just needed a change of scenery, I think, and the Devils seems to be a great fit for him. We knew this team could score goals, but I've just been impressed, like Chad said, with how better they are defensively. I still wonder about the goaltending moving forward, but this team is playing better defensively, and again, we knew that they could score. And also, just the growth of a lot of their young guys. Lindy Ruff has been very complimentary so far of Nico Hischier, and just what a great leader he is turning into, and how much he's looked upon by the other guys in that room, and could be a future Selke winner. So anyway, they've looked great, and they were expected to.
Yeah, no, the talk from the locker room lately has been that Nico Hischier has taken ownership of this team, and a lot of guys are looking up to him, which is great to hear. A lot of great captains in the Devils franchise in the history, so...